we're going to do it right now. It's only going to take about 30 minutes, and we're going to load it up to the web so you can show it to your friends. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to go to codepen.io, this website right here, and sign up for a free account. Okay, now that you signed up for the account, you could upload a picture if you want. It's not required. We'll go to this pen right here. We're going to create a pen. All right, now this is really easy to set up. It has the 3 pieces, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Think about HTML as the structure of your web page. If you're going to build a skyscraper 101 here in Type A, you need to have the frame. So that's what the HTML is. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's pretty easy, and I'll walk you through it. The second step is you'll need to have to style. You want to style it. It's not required, but definitely you want to give it some color. You want to give it some texture. You want to space things out the way you want. You would like to be attractive. The third thing you need to do is you have to give it some action. You want it to be dynamic. You want it to respond to different events. And that's what this JS stands for. It's JavaScript. This is the only part that's the real programming on the website. So let's get started. We're going to start off with just a simple hello world, and we're going to have 3 buttons. And we're going to when you click on the buttons, it's going to change color, so you can see it dynamically change in front of your eyes. So let's get started. We'll just say H1, and we'll say hello world. There we go. That's the minimum you need to do to get a website going. Just put some text there. That actually is a website. But we're not going to stop right there. Let's keep going. We want to put some buttons on there. We'll say put one button here. We will say this is going to be a red button. And then I'll just do some copying. We'll say it's going to be a blue button, and the next one's going to be a green button. All right. Now, what we want to do next is we want to give it a little bit of style. We want to give it some color. Now, in a website, there's a hierarchy. The highest level hierarchy is HTML page. That's the Hypertext Markup Language. Below that is what's called the body. Now the body is the whole body of the document. So let's say that's the body, and then we want to give it a background color. So we'll just say background, and we'll just say it's going to be orange. Boom, right away we've got some color. Now let's do one other thing. Also on the background, we'll say on the text here. See, we got this text. All right, I didn't explain this because I want to give you a quick start. The H1 is your headline. So you can have an H1, which 1 is the highest number. It's going to be the largest. 2 is the next. 3, 4, 5 goes down to 6. These are default settings, but you should stay with that semantic meaning. All right, so the H1 is going to be the tallest. Well, we're going to override the default color of black. We're going to say it's H1, and we're going to say color is white. All right, see, right away we get some action going here. Now let's do one other thing. We want to center it. Okay, we would like to have this thing in the center. All right, so we'll just do. It's called text align center. All right, there you go. Now I'm drawing these names out of the hat. You're like, hey, where does this color come from? Where does text align come from? Where does background come from? Some of this stuff, you just got to take it by faith, because I want to give you a quick start. I want to give you guys the feeling and the thrill of creating a website. So I'm just going to feed you some of this information. But I want to also show you how you get it. So what I like, the website I like for the beginners to learn this is W3 School. You can just type in W3. And then you just type in whatever you want to look for. Let's say W3, I want to look for background color. All right, this is going to be your friend right here, W3 School. Just look at that up. Now it's going to give you some examples here. See, body, background, color, coral. All right. Now I did a little bit of shorthand. I didn't say background dash color. I could have. Background is pretty complicated. There's a lot of different varieties to it. If you just shortcut it and just say background color, you're good enough. So that's it right here. Let me just show you one other thing you can do. I can say background red and hit run. There you go. All right, so this is your friend, W3 Schools. I love it. It's a really nice website. If you like to see the dark color, which is what I prefer, then just click on that. And then while you're in this pane right here, you can change anything you want. See this right here. Maybe we want to say, we're going to do like what we did here. We'll say color is white. And I hit run. There it is. All right. Now there's one other thing I want to do. I want to add some shadow. I want to add some text shadow. I wanted to show you how you can look this stuff up. So you say W3S text shadow. All right, there you go. CSS text shadow property. You have to be good at Googling if you want to be a developer. All right, so here we go. Text shadow 2px. 2px stands for pixels. All right, you see that right there? Okay, I'm going to go to the black mode because that's what I prefer. This right here is a hex. You don't have to use hex. You can just do whatever you want. You can type in the color name. So you can say sky blue. I think that's one of them. Yeah, there you go. Now, how did I know that's sky blue? Well, you do this. You say CSS colors, and then you'll get a list of the color names. So these are all the different color names. You could define it in hex or decimal, different ways of doing it. For me, I just kind of like doing the name. So you could just pick one you like. Tomato, okay, forest green. You know, you got a whole bunch to choose from. Some of them I have as go-to ones. So crimson looks nice. Navy blue is a good one. These purplish ones are good. Slate blue, medium slate blue. So you can play around with those. All right, so I just want to show you that even though I'm pulling it out of the air, you can look this stuff up yourself. So let's get back to business again. All right, so we say we want H1, it's going to be color white, text align. Now we like that text shadow, didn't we, right? We like that, and I'm not going to go to all these details. It's actually 3, you could do 2 or 3. All right, I like 3. So one of them's X, one of them's Y, and the last one is your spread. And then this right here is your color. So let's go here. We're going to give it some a little bit of offset, make it look a little 3D-ish. So we'll say text, shadow, and then I'll say 2px, 2px, 4px, and I'll say black. All right, see, right away that looks very nice. It looks very, very nice. You can get super complicated with all this stuff. You can do shadow and all this kind of. But for me, just a little bit goes a long way. All right, now we got this aligned, but we didn't get these buttons aligned. Now this hypertext markup, you got to understand everything in this is based off of a hierarchy. It's called a DOM, D-O-M, Document Object Model. So, like I said, this is a quick start. I'm not going to go explain everything, but I'm going to explain enough to get you going. So what we want to do is we want to give it a little bit of a hierarchy. I'll just say div. Div is a divider. Okay, so then I'm going to take all this stuff right here. I'm going to move it in and hit save. All right, immediately didn't do anything. By the way, I want to tidy this up. Okay, so tidy HTML. So you see we got a little bit of a hierarchy going there. Now what I want to do on this div is I want to give it the same sort of thing as a text align. I could go into every single one of these buttons, every single one, and say, okay, I want this thing to be in the middle. But still that wouldn't work because they'd be smushed on top of each other. I want to take all these as one big group, and as a group make this thing text align. Now I could do that very easily right here. I'll just say div, and I'll just take the same thing I got right here, and I'll hold on, duplicate it. All right, see they all got lined up right. I just copied it and moved it in. Text align works for both. All right, so we're looking pretty good here. Now, we have some things going on here that are pretty nice, but look, we got these buttons, but they're not connected. So that's where the JavaScript comes in. Right now, this is one, it's called a static page. There's nothing going on, there's no action. The thing you have to understand for JavaScript, for web, is that it's all event-driven. Now, this is a difficult concept for me because I came from process programming, but everything's event-driven. So what is the event when you click on a button? Well, guess what? That event's called click. All right. Now, again, I'm pulling this out of the air. You don't have to take my word for it. We'll just Google it. So we'll just say JavaScript events click. Oh, and then we want our friend W3S. Well, okay, here we go. This one comes up right away. Oh, well, look at this. This is the one I want to use for anyway. It's called onClick event. So we'll look at that, onClick. What's going on here? Let's go to the black. All right, so what happens is you click me, oh, something happens, right? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to capture that event. And the event is called onClick. Now, when that event takes place, something's going to happen. All right, so let's just copy this and go back to our code pen. So what we need to do is we need to go back, we need to go into all of these, and we're going to copy and paste a function in there. So when you click on it, something's going to happen. I'm going to give it a different name for each one of these. I'm going to say this is going to be change red, and this is going to be change blue. This one's going to be change green. All right. Now, just for completeness, I'm going to add one more button, which is going to go back to the original orange. And I'll just call this change orig, O-R-I-G. And I'm going to say revert. Revert, go back to which it originally was. Or maybe I'll just say original. Original color. All right. Name it whatever you want. All right, so we tidied these up. Yeah. Now, let me show you a trick. Double click on this bar, and that'll expand it out all the way. So we got 4 buttons all the way across. Change red, change blue, change green, change original. Now, the event we're tracking is called onClick. So when you click it, okay, what it's doing is it's invoking. It's calling this function. We haven't defined what that function is, but it's calling it. I click on this blue, and it's going to call that function. I click on that green, it's going to call that function. I click on that original, it's going to call that function. Now, what you really should do, just like if you're going to write an essay, you should try to sketch it out, what you want to go on, just what you want to happen. Just like if you're going to frame up a wall, you're going to put some buttons on the wall, you want to click here, and maybe I'll turn on the air conditioner. This is going to click on, turn on the lights. This is going to click and turn on the television or something. Just imagine a scenario like that. You would at least have to sketch that out and hang some wires down below it. Now, we basically did hang those wires, and we said this is what's going to happen. We want this background to turn red, this background to turn blue, this background to turn green, and this background to go back to the original color, which, by the way, is orange. All right, I could just call this orange, but sometimes I like to say go back to original. So there we go. Now we're going to frame it up. We're going to go do the rest. We're going to do the back half of it. This is the front half. This is the back half. So let's take a look at this. This is a function, and okay, it's a function. Now this is all syntax. You just have to type it in like this. It's function, parentheses, and then the brackets. Now there's different notation. I'm just teaching the simplest notation. What we want to do is, let me ask you this. What do we want to do when we click on that button? We say it's red, right? So we want this to go to red, and it's currently orange. Well, let's go do that. So we'll copy this and paste it. Is that going to work? I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work. This is one of the maddening things about this. The CSS was developed separately from JS, JavaScript, different groups of people. And, some of it was at the same time, but basically it's just different groups of people. So because of that, you'll have different notation. It's not background colon. It's going to be background equals. And by the way, they have variables in JavaScript. If you want to make it a literal, like I really want it to be orange, I really want it to be red, as opposed to, say, a variable that happens to be some color, like my color red, that's a variable, equals red. I could do that. In that case, I would just say here, my color red. That'll work perfectly. Now I got to fix the left-hand side of this equation because that's not right. What we need to do is we need to reference the body. See, we're going to change this thing. We want to reference the body. And we're going to reference the style within the body and the background within that. And all of that is inside a document. Now, this is using dot notation. This is using object-oriented coding. You can actually take my word for some of this stuff here. So it's going to be document body dot style dot background. That should do it. By the way, a lot of developers, they don't remember everything by heart. They Google things. So let's just take a look and see if this thing works. All right, and let me clear this out because I just wanted to, well, okay, I'll keep it. Now let's see. Hopefully this will work. Hey, good. All right, super. Now, I'm always happy when I see things change, even though this is really basic stuff, but it never ceases to amaze me. All right, so we've got document body style background equals red. Now, we're kind of stuck now because how do we get off of red? Well, fine, that's no problem. We got this thing working. So we take this thing and we copy paste it. There's a lot of copy pasting going on. Now, what's the next function? We want it to be blue, change blue. So we just change this thing here and we say blue, and then we'll say, oh, we want this thing to be blue. Is it going to work? It's not going to work. Why won't it work? Because we didn't have this variable called color blue. All right, I did this color because I wanted to show you the difference between, I want to show you why you have to put this in quotes if you mean the literal value blue. Okay, so here we go. Here's red, and then there's blue, right? I can't say blue without the quotes because that's implying that there is a variable, just like this guy's a variable, that's set to a certain value, okay? Maybe I'm over-explaining it, but it's an important concept to understand why on the programming side you need quotes. You need quotes here if you're saying, I'm saying literally it is this value, B-L-U-E, blue, right? Because remember, we looked up the CSS colors. We looked those up, and we found a lot, and we found some we liked, right? Maybe let's pick this, I like this medium slate blue. We'll go back here, and you know, you can change it to whatever you want. It's blue enough. You got to get the spelling exactly right. Oh, let's try it. Red, blue. It did work. Okay, so there's fine. That's a nice looking blue. It's a purplish blue. Now let's keep going. All right. Now we're going to make this one green. And why don't we make this like a forest green? Now I'm going to go back just for consistency. This is you're doing yourself a favor to do things consistently the same way all the way throughout, because you don't want to have one. Sometime you use variable, sometime you use literal. We'll just stick with the literal. All right. So we got red so far, blue so far, green so far. We don't have original tied up, hooked up yet. We'll do that right now. And we'll say O-R-I-G. Here we go. And what is our original? Our original is this color right here. Well, we can copy it. All right, I think we're pretty much done. Red, blue, green, original. All right. I think that's pretty fun. Now, that is a viable website. One more thing I want to do, just to show you that we could do something else going on here. Remember I said there's H1, H2, H3, H4. You know, these are the different headlines. The bigger the number, the smaller the letters. That's just the standard. Of course, you can overwrite that in CSS. You can make it any size you want. Now, we're just going to stick with this standard format. So we'll just say H4. It's going to be quite a bit smaller. And then we'll say change color to, oh, by the way, I'm not going to say what that is. I'm just going to put in a placeholder. That's all I'm doing. All right, now, let's say when you click on any of these things here, you're going to change the name. You're going to insert a value right there in that H4. It doesn't exist, but we're going to add it. So we're going to say document query selector. You're asking a question, and you're asking a question on this H4. And you're going to say its inner text value is equal to red. My color, I'll just say red. What the heck? All right, let's just try this out. You're gonna be surprised. Red. Okay, it's over there. Now remember, we want that thing to be the same as the other one. So there we go. All right, so we want it styled the same way. We want it to be red. We want that to be white and also in the center. Now H4 is a little bit small. Let's make it H2. H2, and I'm going to go over here. I need to make this an H2 all the way across. All right. All right, that's good enough. All right, so you'll see it. Now we'll do the same thing on all the other ones. Double click this to expand it. All right, take this thing here, and we'll copy it. We need to move some of this down. All right, this one's going to be what? It's going to be bluish color. And we'll do another one. All right, we'll just say what it is. It's forest green. And then we'll do the last one. And we're going to make this orange. So original. All right, good. So it looks like we're in good shape. Red, blue, green, original orange, red, blue, green, original orange. Now you might want to say, well, hey, right away, when I first started, I didn't have anything, and that's correct. Maybe I'll just put something just to have a placeholder. It's not necessary. So we'll say initial. I'll just say initial. All right, so we got that in there. Or I'll just say start. Okay. So there we go. Red, blue, green, original. All right, that is a minimal viable website which has HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I went through it very quickly, but I think I did show you how you can find some of this stuff here. Like, for example, on click. This is really good on W3 Schools. You can see button on click. The functions, just like what we did. You're specifying a function. Now they did this all in one go. They did this on one document, but they had to put script tags around it. And then they say, here's the function, document get by. All right. One thing I did not show you is the query selector. So let me just show you that. W3S query selector. And then you can see how you can look that stuff up. Yeah, there we go. All right, it's going to look for dotted. There's a whole set of rules for this. I didn't go into classes or ID, but that's more. I just want to give you a quick start. Okay, so we want to load this up to the internet. Let's go do that. Now, the next step you need to do is you need to go over here. Oops, move it around. All right, let me clear down some of these. What I recommend is go to this one called Infinity Web Hosting. It's all free. Yes, right here. All right, so what you do is you just sign up, put in your email, password, blah, 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 and you go ahead and sign up. Once you do that, come on back, and then we'll finish up the rest. Okay, so now that you signed up for the website, you say sign in. I actually went ahead and did that. I should sign in. Yeah, okay, I'm already signed in here. During the break, I went ahead and created this account. I'll show you how you create one. You go over here to this green button, or you can go over here to new account. when you first log in, you won't have this thing epiz underscore 2411. I created that during this little break here. Hit create new account. Now, there's a lot going on this screen. There's only just a couple things you need to worry about. Just this one thing right here. Give yourself a name. We'll say Quick Start 2, Quick Start Website 2. This is going to be unique. You won't be able to choose this name if I get it, because all these names have to be unique. So let's go ahead and try, and don't worry about the rest. Hit Create Account. All right, now it's going to do some things. They're setting it up for me. In a few minutes, my account's going to be ready. Then I can set up my website. Let me just hit, okay, we'll say View in Client Area. It's being created. All right, in the interest of time, I'll show you how I already showed you how you can create the account. This one up here is one I created during the break. It's going to be identical to this one. See, it's still thinking. Oh, okay, good. All right, it came through. It came through. All right. So here we go. This is the name of the website. It's called Quick Start Website 2 epz.1, but epz.com. All right, that's a boilerplate. It's just a placeholder. Now, I'm going to go with this one over here, the one I created earlier, because it doesn't have the 2, and I like that one a little better. Oh, actually, that's one I did paste in. All right, so this is a boilerplate. I'm going to show you that we can create our own. Now, we're on this one right here. You can go into the control panel. Let me just show you that real quickly. There's a lot going on with the control panel. What we're going to play around with is the file manager. But the file manager that they give you in the original, in your original splash screen landing page is better. We're going to use this one right here. So we'll say file manager. All right, it says do not upload files here. This is a folder. We'll click on the folder, go down. Good. Now there's a placeholder here for us. It's placeholder file. It's index2.html. Take my word for it. Once you go to a folder, they're going to be looking. The website's going to be looking for something called index.html. If it finds it, immediately it executes it, fires it up. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you that this actually does work the way I said it. We're going to take this right here and we're going to copy it to just without the 2. Oops. Oh. Copy, paste. All right, good. So copied it. What we're going to do is we're going to rename it. INDEX, and we'll save it. All right, good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a very small change to it. All right, there's a lot going on here. Don't worry about it. I'll take you to the meat of it. So the meat of it is right here. It says, let's make something awesome. And I'll say, I'll just change this whole thing. I'll say, have a glorious day. Have a glorious day. Before I hit save, let me show you what it looks like right there. Before. This should change if this works right. Okay, so I'll say save. Let's go over here. I'll hit refresh. Have a glorious day. There we go. So that's our proof. We know this is working. Now, and this is our web page. We are live. All right. Now, what we're going to do is let's keep a lot of. Do we want to keep? How much do we want to keep? We don't want to keep much. They did give you some bootstrap. I want to show you the right way of doing this. All right, let's go ahead and delete a lot of this out. Oh, you know what? Let me just, I just want to show you the bare bones. You know what, there's one thing I needed in there. Let me go back. All right. All right, none of this is really hurting us. But I don't like this. I don't want that. And I don't want that. All right, so these things are called meta tags. Now, all right, let's do this. We're going to give this thing ourselves a name. It's going to just call it your own name. I'm going to say Robbie. Okay, Robbie's first website. Okay, good. That's all you got to do. See, all I did was delete stuff. All right, Robbie's first web page. Now, I want this thing right here. And this is going to be my CSS. Look over here, CodePen. I need to have a file of CSS. Yes, I know I could put it all on the one web page, but I want to show you a little bit of detail. Okay, so we're going to have a page for this, we're going to have a page for that, and a page for this. Now, everything runs off the HTML. The HTML page will reference this, and the HTML page will reference the JavaScript. So let's go back here. This is where we're going to reference it. So we're going to call this thing called first.css. Yeah. Now, it doesn't really matter what you call it, but you just got to remember the name. Now, we only need one of these. And we're going to call this first.js for JavaScript. All right, this is going to hook in to that. Okay, we've got the two hooks in place. Now, what we want to do is we want to copy all of this stuff here. Yeah. We want to copy all that. What we need to do is we need to create a file. Oh, that's interesting. We need to create a file for first CSS and first.js. But we're good for now, so we'll hit save. And then we want to close. All right, so this is our index file. We have to create two more files, first.css and first.js. New file. First.css. Here we go, blank page. We're going to copy all of this, paste it, save it, close it. Good, first CSS. Create one more page, or one more file, first.js. Go to this CodePen, copy it, paste it, save it, close it. Right, so here's our file. We don't need index2.html anymore, but we'll just keep it for reference. It's never going to be called out unless you want it. Let me show you something interesting. Remember, we didn't say slash, you can, but you don't have to. You can say slash index.html. Oh, well, okay, that's our new page. Hey, by the way, it's all working now, I think. Sweet! Isn't that nice? All right. What I wanted to show you was that you could actually go back to that 2 there. See, that 2 is going to show you that old one. But anyway, that's not the point of this whole exercise. The point of the exercise is to create our web page, and we just did it. There it is. All right. You don't have to put the slash index.html. All right, there you go. That's our web page. Hello world. Start, red, blue, bluish color, green, original. Now you could go back and change this directly here. Remember we said that the colors, well, we have to remember where we set the colors. We actually set the colors in the JavaScript, I believe. Oh, I should have done that. It's all right. Go back to the file manager. It's inside here. That's all inside the JavaScript. This is not, it's good practice to do it on your local machine and then upload it. But I just want to show you it's possible to directly change things on the website if you wanted to. It's actually kind of fun. So we'll just say purple-ish. All right. Remember, it says bluish. Save. Hello world. Red, blue, green, original. Okay, so let's review what we did here. Let's go all the way out and go back in again because this website part was a little bit complicated. So you go back into infinityfree.net. All right, now just remember that, infinityfree.net. All right, we did this one on this guy right here, quick start website. All right, you're all with me. You're with me, right? All right, then we go to File Manager. Do not do anything here. You have to go inside that. All right, and then what I did was I copied HTML2, index 2 to index 1, just to index. The only thing I really wanted was I just wanted to save myself a little bit of time typing in this tag information, right? Now we copied all of this in there, and then we needed to have a script, first.js, that's our JavaScript, and then we needed to have this link in here for the CSS. This is interesting. It says you can command link to it. Never done that. Command plus click. That's not working for me. All right, well, this is your HTML. And then the rest of it is pretty easy because we just did a copy paste on JavaScript. Here, we actually did change it directly on the website. Not recommended. And CSS, right? But the starting point was CodePen. With CodePen, we created HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We're all done. We confirmed this is all working the way we want it. Then we went in here. We got a free website. We went into the free panel, a file manager, and did all the stuff I just got through showing you. So there you go. You created a website. It was under an hour. I'm pretty sure it was. So thanks for watching. If you like it, then give it a thumbs up. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.